Welcome to Fancy Breakouts. This is Patrick, or Pat, I don't care. And that's Eric. Thank you guys for joining us. Today we're going to go over some different facts and questions that we have for each other. And these things are really what we kind of ponder each off season just because, last year happened. It is what it is. If you won, congratulations. If you didn't, there's room for improvement, point blank, period. But at the end of the day, reps and really you have to pay attention to, I won't say trends, but really how to approach something and learn from what you did. And there's so many different ways, whether it's the running backs are heavy this year or the receivers are heavy this year. You really need to approach it with not only your perspective, but an open perspective and really to maximize your draft value as far as, what you're going after, any steals you got, any Calvin Ridley's in the sixth round, things like that. And be sure to stick around because Eric's gonna have a lot of advice for you guys as far as how to become a better manager. Because we know some people out there ain't the best managers.
Commissioner, yeah.
So, commissioner manager, you know what I meant. But yeah, so stick around. All right, Eric. You got anything to say? You got any?
Yeah, let's get into this. So, yeah, let's not just forget about it, what happened last year. Let's get into what's going to make you a better fantasy player next year, make you more successful, winning money, beating your friends. That's what it's all about, right? So here we go. So, Pat, let's get into this. I have my first question for you. Here we go. Hopefully these aren't too hard. Let's see. Actually, that would have been yours. Hang on one second. Okay, a little technical difficulty. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Actually, here we go. This is it. I'm sorry. All right. The top three fantasy scorers in 2020 were Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook. In half-point PPR, Cook outscored the fourth highest running back by 78 points. So it's a huge gap right there. Who was the fourth highest scorer? Who do you think was the fourth highest scorer?
Let's see. I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that came on late. Big games.
Yeah, just take a guess.
I don't know.
Just by
Let's say
feeling it out.
David Montgomery.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah, I saw he was
He ate at the end.
he ate at the end. Yeah, I saw he had the 237.8 points. He came on really bad. I mean, I think he was like something around 20th overall. But yeah, he had the 11th easiest running back schedule after I believe it was week 8 or 9. And yeah, came on and he ended up being the fourth highest scorer. So maybe you were in a league where somebody overdrafted him and they ended up looking like a genius, right? But here we go. So let's go into. I think you have a question for me, Pat.
Who do you think had the most standard points as a receiver in 2020?
I think about this. I don't want to overthink it, but I would say I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill. Did he have the most? I know he went crazy for a lot of games. Is that right?
He had a lot. So I'm gonna go with yes.
That was him. That was him. All right. Yeah, and yeah, he wasn't drafted as the number one. That's for sure. So all right. Okay, so here's another one, Pat. Who was fantasy football's number one QB scorer through week 8, but only finished as QB 12? This person had 29 touchdowns and 2,500 passing yards for the first 8 weeks of the season.
I'm saying Russell.
Yep, that's right. Yep. He only averaged 16 and a half points and had 13 touchdowns through the rest of the season. So he fell off a cliff. I think that was maybe a lot of people watching could have guessed that.
Any Russell owners felt that.
All right, here's your second question. So this is more of a forecast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who's the top RB next year? I was actually just talking about this at the Super Bowl with somebody, and it's like if you were like looking at this year, I think you're usually not going to have a grouping of the top 3 guys and then a huge fall off. But if I was to say who's going to be one of the top 3 running backs that can carry you, like Dalvin Cook and Henry and Kamara did, I feel like you can't go wrong with McCaffrey. I think their team is actually going to get a lot better next year. So I like it. I think he doesn't really even need, as long as they aren't terrible, he'll be fine. And they were what, I think they won 8 games or 7 games when he went crazy last in 2019. So I think I'll go McCaffrey. But what do you think about that? What's the right answer, Pat?
I don't know, man. I look at what do you think the running back's shelf life is a lot smaller. You know, a big drip, yeah, of course. The shelf life for running backs is a lot smaller. We all know that. I don't know.
He's young.
He is young, but man, he's little. He's nimble. He's like, a little white guy. We'll see, man. I this year will really steer me in a direction. I probably won't reach for him. I'd still take Saquon, preferably, honestly, to me.
Number 1, okay.
I love Saquon.
Bounce back, huh?
Oh yeah, major way. I believe in him more than because McCaffrey just had little. And you guys, 5-10 years ago, like, but it was an ACL, man. Yeah, you know how much progression with ACL surgeries they've had over the years. It's not the same. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay, I'm sure we'll be talking about that pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I got another one, Pat. Okay, this is a player profiler question. So we've talked about player profiler, especially when we're looking at these 3rd and 4th string running backs and who is this man? He wasn't even drafted, and we try to compare players, just their physical speed, size. Hopefully they're good at football first and foremost.
Hopefully.
But okay, here we go. So my player profiler question. It actually has to do with Calvin Johnson, since he did get in the Hall of Fame. What player do you think most compares to Calvin Johnson? And this is not actually a football player. Who do you think? Here he is, right here. 4.35 was his 40 time. He's 6'5". He's over 230. I don't. Looks like he's got big hands, I guess. But yeah, look how fast this man is, and the size of this guy. Who do you think non-football player he compares to?
LeBron.
What?
LeBron.
Did you look these up? But yeah, look
no,
at
I
here.
didn't.
Here, right here.
Oh,
Best
wow.
comparable, LeBron James. Yeah, and that's probably a Miami LeBron James, but still, man, this man was a freak. If you didn't get it to play fantasy football when he was around, it was a treat. This guy, I would have him. I think I had him 3-4 times over the course of his career.
His fingers are doing all type of different things right now.
Broken as hell. But yeah, he's a legend, man. He might not be the GOAT, but fantasy legend for sure, right?
I think if he would have been on a different team, he would have been one of the GOATs. People in Detroit, it doesn't work out. They can't keep their stars, so it's not all his fault.
But okay. That was mine. Man, Pat's killing my questions here. Here we go.
That just sounded like LeBron. Because LeBron is one of the most athletic freaks ever. You can hate on the man all you want, but God.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't run a 4.43, but I bet he'd be in the 4.4s. But okay, and he's probably quick. He's quick as hell, obviously. What team has the most defensive fantasy points since 2017? That's what Pat put together for me. And this is
do standard. I mean, that's just like the standard. Like you get 6 points for touchdowns. Yeah. What would you off the top of your head?
So 17. I was thinking Seahawks, but then I was kind of thinking Steelers. But Steelers kind of had a couple weak defenses when they had Le'Veon. I'm just gonna go Ravens, just because they just seem like the most solid year in, year out.
Yeah, Ravens. I'd have to agree. I mean, a lot of people think Steelers, but Steelers, like you said, especially when they had Le'Veon and Brown, we all know that their defense was not there. The last 2-3 years, I think they're probably second or third, but Ravens are always there. Always.
So what's the right answer?
Ravens.
It's the Ravens. Okay.
We're going to go Ravens.
All right. Can't go wrong with them usually, right? Okay. Here we go. Next one. Running back question. So Alvin Kamara scored 56.2 PPR points on Christmas to win thousands of fantasy football championships. Pat beat me with him. But what running back actually scored the most fantasy points in a single game in fantasy football history? It happened within the last 10 years, and this is PPR scoring. Who do you think it was?
Give me 2 seconds. Chiefs running back. What's his name? Hang on.
Did you hear about it, like when Kamara stuff was going on?
Jamal Charles, right?
That's right, yeah.
No, J.J. Beebs had him when he did it. I remember the week.
You just remember it. Here it is right here.
He had like 58 points or something like that. Yep.
Yeah, so this...
Oakland, yep. I remember that.
I was thinking the Doug Martin game when he played the Vikings would be on this list, but I didn't see it. But he killed them the one time. But, yeah, looking at these, how many Hall of Famers do you see here?
It's nuts.
These are guys that, look at, there's Calvin Johnson at the bottom, but these are guys that are just freaks, and if they didn't get in the Hall of Fame, they might have had some injury problems, but...
Kevin Curtis.
Kevin Curtis. I was thinking about, like, who the heck is Drew Bennett, but I couldn't even picture that man.
Let's see. Let's count the teams that are on that list on the wrong side. Oakland and Buffalo.
Buffalo. And,
wow.
Yeah. Obviously, you got the easy walk-in touchdowns for Kamara this year. Gross.
Remember when Doug Martin went off, and then we're like, "Oh, he's gonna be the best ever," and that like his year was like the only year.
Yeah, it was. I don't know I think it was either his rookie year or the year right after his rookie year, and that was about it.
That was it. Short-lived. The
turned into a plotter.
The hamster, the puppy hamster. What was it?
Muscle hamster.
Muscle hamster. So the puppy hamster.
All right, here we go. Let's get into pets. I kind of summarized your question.
What player do you always feel you end up with or make sure you get in the past 3 years? We all have those people that were like, back in my mind, I shouldn't reach, but I need him.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I think if you are, after this next draft, I probably would answer Deontay Johnson, actually. I picked him up on both my main leagues last year, and then his rookie year, I got him like in like week 6 or something, just because he was just producing. But if you were to say these past 2 years, I've been wanting to get Christian McCaffrey since he was a rookie, and I'm probably gonna make sure I get him. I think we already talked about him. Don't want to give too much away. But who do you have for that? Who do you have for that?
Well, I mean, that's easy for me. Odell. I mean, I've always tried to get Odell. Man's a great athlete, terrible situation. I think he'll be another one that people are going to sleep on. I hope he gets traded. Yeah, I want to hear all that. Like, you know, the Browns are better without him. Go ahead, ship him somewhere because he's going to come back with so much vengeance, man. And he's a freak, too. Remember, the man couldn't play because he tore his hamstrings for the first, 6 weeks of that rookie season or something like that. And then what happened?
Yeah, that's what I would have guessed for you. Him or Kamara.
Like
okay,
Kamara too.
Let's see. Okay, this is pretty subjective, but who had the greatest fantasy football game in fantasy football history? This is subjective.
So this could be pretty biased, you know. Right now, if they would have given the ball at the 1 yard line, he would have the best ever. That was 7 more points, or you know, like. Thank you, Sean. Thank you.
Who do you think that I think it is?
Who do you think that you think?
Yeah, that's my hint.
I could say you're more of a Jerry Rice type of guy.
Man, you're cold. Okay, you didn't get this one. All right, here we go, Pat. I got something.
You got a little clip?
Yep. All right. Eric Decker, 174 yards, 4 touchdowns, sprung me to get into the playoffs. My dad My
You
dad
beat
beat
Isaiah.
beat Isaiah. This is my little video montage. So anyway, I put this together because this is like I did like 30 seconds for each person in the league, 45 seconds for each person in the league, and then put a song with it, and that's what was it, the Homicide or something by Logic. That's the music video. But yeah, I had to put that. That's the greatest game in fantasy football history. I think he had it. Oops.
Shots, shots, shots.
So
Oh,
can guess who that was, but greatest game in fantasy
I'll
football
never
history.
forget that when me and Isaiah were living together. I remember that because Isaiah he had Peyton Manning, but he also was going against Eric Decker. I think it was,
And he was up how many
and
points? Like 30.
oh my, yeah, he was up. He's like, oh, and then Eric Decker had like 50 points or something like that, and he so sucks.
What a turning point.
Oh, he's like, throw it to somebody else. It's about hitting the
Man,
wall, slam a computer, turn stuff off.
you
Isaiah,
guys.
you all right? The doors is open. He's just looking.
That's probably the night you lost your security deposit right there.
Oh man, he between that or 2K.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, so if you want any more information about how to do like a little montage thing, it's I can't play the song obviously because this will get taken down.
Copyright.
But yeah, hit subscribe. I made this new thing too, Pat. You see that?
Yep.
Sean Taylor.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Man, he would have easily been the. That man was a goat. I mean, he is a goat. Dog.
Oh, okay. Pat has one more question. Sorry, and then we'll wrap
My
this up.
bad, man. What position over the past 5 years is the most valuable and you've made it a priority to get production from? And what I mean by that is like for instance, tight end. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, it really hurts you when you don't have a tight end," but there's only like 3 tight ends. You get where I'm going with that?
Yeah, I got you. I think I would say definitely the past 3 years. I would say I've gone away from trying to load up and just be a hoarder of all the best running backs because that was kind of my move for a while. But with things going much more passing heavy, you might be hurting your team. And I think my position has definitely been that wide receiver 2 position. I want to have, obviously a good guy that I can start every week as my 1, but I want to have a 2 that is winning me some weeks. And if we looked at my draft, I don't know if I can get it up here. Oh, I can get it up quick, but I just hammered. What did I think it through rounds like 4 to like 8. I think I just took as many shots on wide receivers as I could. Shark, Ridley, AJ Brown. Just throwing darts at these guys because some of them will hit and some of them will carry you. So I think wide receiver 2 is something I've definitely made an emphasis to get better at and just have that production from. And if a couple of those darts miss, I still get some big contributors. Pat, who do you think I like for your roster composition? What do you think?
I really try to make sure I get RB2. Excuse me.
RB2. Mm-hmm.
And I get what you're going with the wide receivers. The only thing I would say is that sometimes it's so stacked, man. And I think wide receiver is one of those things that it seems like there's always a team that they suck. They're rebuilding, however you want to put it, and they're going to be throwing the ball. And whoever that guy is on that team could be that wide receiver 2 for you. Now, if you're able to get that guy or the early jump, however you want to say it, to actually get that person, that's one thing. But I think running back is slept on. I mean, over the years, like 5 years ago, it was a lot different, a lot more valuable constantly, right? And then for a while, kind of went away. Now it's coming back. It's more of a stable production.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all know the RB1s, but you can never have enough running backs, like solid running backs. Obviously, when people get hurt, that's one thing, but running backs are way harder to come by than any position. Obviously, you want Travis Kelce or George Kittle, Darren Waller. If you don't get them, the rest of them are kind of dart throws, so to speak, but you could stream them sometimes, So I'm going
Okay.
RB2.
I like that. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that wraps up. We're going to be having some other videos coming out really soon. We're going to be going over our free agent predictions, and like Pat said before, we better get that video out because stuff changes quick, right? But
Taking our heads off, man.
coming at us. But yeah, thank you so much. Please subscribe. It helps us out a ton. Hey, you could be the first within the first 200 subscribers here. You could one day you'll be commenting that I was with one of the first 150 subscribers.
I was the guy.
But yeah, be sure to like the video. Thank you so much, Pat. Anything else?
No, man. Appreciate you guys always. If you ever have any question or anything, you know where to reach us. Don't hesitate. Thank you.
I can't. There we go. Goodbye.
Stop.